Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder states that he is coming for his belts. And let me counterpunch. I didn't know Wilder had any other belts besides the WBC. I appreciate the ambition, because I remember him being the WBC champion for 5 years, but never anything else. And in fact, the WBC was the pinnacle, in his mindset. I remember he went from one champion, one face, one name to it ain't about the other belts. If you guys can remember that, I remember very well. But I think him saying that he's coming for those belts, he wants to show his greatness. He wants to show people that he's still around, and it feels good to be a veteran. And my counterpunch to Wilder is, I think he gets too caught up with the idea of doing too many things at one time. And a lot of people do that. A lot of fighters, they talk about this fight or that fight or Usyk and all these, and then it's like, let's get past Herndon first, because these guys these days, they love to fight guys like Wilder, especially when they feel or believe that Wilder has missed a step or two, But anyway, I hate flies, bro. But it's like with Wilder, I think, he's up against guys that are hungry, that are signing to fight him to prove a point. They feel that, hey, he's done. And whenever you feel that something or someone is wounded, that's the perfect time to pounce on them. And I think that's the time for these guys. Remember Curtis Harper? Curtis Harper was amped. He was excited to fight Wilder. I don't really know what happened. Harper turned into Herndon, and, I think it was another fighter that he was talking about fighting as well, but it didn't happen. But Herndon, he's like, respectfully, he's like, hey, I used to look up to Wilder. Used to look up to Wilder. But now, I think that I'm going to send this guy to an early retirement. And then when people talk like that, they can't believe that you're worth a shit anymore. Let's just call it a buck, because Wilder is in a situation. He's lost he's got beat his last two fights. He was in there with Big Bang, and Big Bang is a powerful guy. Don't get it twisted. Just because he failed to Aget Kabayel, don't mean that he is somebody that you take lightly. And then Joseph Parker, of course, we're all rallying for him to get his justice, because Joseph Parker has kicked every ass since his loss to Joe Joyce, right? So, those are two top fighters still that he lost to. But at the same time, on the high or the elite level, he's going to have to show people that he belongs, And again, I appreciate the ambition. I appreciate the goals that he's setting for himself. But, you got to get past Herndon first. Let's see what you do with Herndon, because if you don't beat Herndon, all this talk that you go onto these places, these platforms, and you mention, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything at all. It just means, hey, you're a good talker, but when it comes to fighting, you ain't worth the shit no more. That's what all people are going to see. And the sad part about Wilder is he made so many enemies with the excuses that he had when he took his first L, that everybody was against him. The officials, the sanctioning bodies, the president, the trainer, the ref, the costume. Everybody was against him, and he lost a lot of credit for that. Now, when he did fight Tyson again, he gained a lot of that back. So guess what? The good news for Wilder is it takes one courageous fight or effort or victory for everybody to see that, hey, Wilder's still back, and Wilder's still about that life. Okay, again, like I told you guys, I think Deontay Wilder's ayahuasca has worn off finally. For him saying that he wants to slap somebody, that means you still got a little life in you. That means the life has came back, because psychedelic drugs are very, 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 very bad, especially for your fighting fortitude, right? So Wilder, wanting those belts back. It's a bold statement, real bold, but let's see if he can take that first step first. But you guys tell me what you think of Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder stating that he wants those belts. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.
To this day.